So I was just watching Brian over at Sussex Family TV, Sussex Squad Family TV. I do watch him a lot, actually. Him and Brian Squaddies are two of my favorites. And they are always on the money, like they're up to date, like probably nobody else on the Harry and Meghan front at this point. But so he was talking about, how James O'Brien was just absolutely scandalized by Daily Mail linking Harry and Meghan to Justin Welby's sex abuse scandal, the sex abuse scandal that has engulfed him and forced him to resign. He just resigned. And I just thought to myself, but what about King Charles? What about King Charles? King Charles is Justin Welby's boss. King Charles is the head of the church. Justin Welby is under King Charles. If Justin Welby has to resign, what about King Charles? If he doesn't have to resign, which obviously would be a little bit of a stretch, shouldn't there be some accountability from the head of the church? Justin Welby was not the head of the church. King Charles is the head of the church. I mean, we're talking about Meghan, and well, not we, they are talking about Meghan and roping Meghan into something she's not even British. I mean, this girl is an American, a foreigner who was in the country for 2 years, if that, right? Before she went back to where she came from. She's not even of this religion. She's not a British citizen. She's not a member of the house of the British Church. The what is this called? I can't even remember. Oh my God, I'm having a senior moment. The Church of England. She's not a member of the Church of England. So how is she suddenly being treated as if she is the Pope who should be condemned for the actions of Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, whose boss is King Charles, but who nobody is even mentioning as far as having any accountability in this situation? King Charles is the head of the Church of England. I repeat, King Charles is the head of the Church of England. If his archbishop had to step down for misconduct, for covering up something that the archbishop ought to have known had gone on, what about the boss? Does the buck not stop with King Charles? How dare they try to blame this on some obscure woman in Montecito, California, who is not even a member of the church, but says nothing at all about the actual head of the church? Are these people on drugs, honestly? Are they on drugs? I don't understand it. Something is wrong. They're smoking something over there at Daily Mail. I was reading on Tatler, but Tatler is a very pro Windsor outlet because I think Camilla's niece was, the editor in chief or something over there. But it says here the resignation of the Archbishop of Canterbury may well come as a blow to the royal family from the coronation to the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I mean, how about the fact that he and William were good friends and William helped him with his depression? How about the fact that he christened both Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis? How about the fact that he officiated the funeral of Queen Elizabeth and her husband as well, the Duke of Edinburgh? How about all of these other references? Why are they referencing and highlighting and prioritizing Harry and Meghan? I mean, this man threw Meghan under the bus when she told Oprah that he had officiated a private wedding or marriage, whatever, in their back garden. He held her out to dry. He left her to be devoured by the jackals, right? By not confirming that this had occurred. And these people are now trying to say that he and Meghan are best friends. And so somehow Meghan is responsible for the fact that since the 1970s, 10 years before she was born, this man closely affiliated with the church and with the archbishop and with King Charles, who is head of the church, had been abusing hundreds of young boys and maybe some girls, for all we know, under the guise of running, religious camps or whatever the heck it was. This was 10 years before Meghan was born. Meghan, a woman who lives in Montecito, California. Meghan, a woman who is not a member of the Church of England. Meghan, who is not a British citizen. Meghan, who's no longer a working member of the royal family. Meghan, who this man left to hang out to dry when she said that he had officiated a private ceremony for her and her husband in their back garden. It is her that is responsible. It is her name that's being dragged through the mud. What about King Charles? What responsibility does King Charles have in this situation, being that it is King Charles who is the head of the Church of England? Justin Welby worked for King Charles. Justin Welby had to get King Charles's permission to resign. Justin Welby is the Archbishop of Canterbury solely at the discretion of King Charles. What about King Charles in this situation? What responsibility does he have? What accountability does he owe for these horrific malfeasances by his inferiors, right? It says here, a deeply spiritual man, His Royal Highness, found a religious advisor in Justin Welby, someone to whom he could turn with the deepest of religious questions, but could also share a light-hearted joke amid the chaos of a coronation. Before Welby stepped down in the wake of a damning report that criticized his handling of the worst sexual abuse scandal in the Church of England's history, he reportedly exchanged private words with the king. But how did the two forge such a sacred bond, and what role might Charles play in choosing Welby's replacement? Right, this is all in Tatler, right? I mean, my question is, what about King Charles? What is his responsibility and accountability as the head of the Church of England? Why are you talking to me about Meghan, who has not lived in England for 4 years? Meghan, who is not a British citizen? Meghan, who barely remained in Britain for 2 years during her marriage, right? Meghan, who it has been, rejected by the royal family. So she's not, in theory, a member of the royal family, except through the link of her marriage to Prince Harry, right? Meghan is American. Meghan has nothing to do with this. Meghan wasn't even born at the time that these allegations occurred, right? These alleged malfeasances occurred and sexual abuse and whatever. Why are they talking to me about Meghan? What about King Charles? And this man, Justin Welby, also served under Queen Elizabeth. What about Queen Elizabeth? Right? These people were in charge of the church. Justin Welby served at their discretion. What about them?